Donald Trump doesn't just force his body onto others, he also projects his guilt onto them. This is just another day. Oh, hi there. I just poured myself this cool glass of refreshing water. Not too much because I'd hate to spill it, but sometimes it's nice to just sit back and get my hydration on while watching the very standard, in no way surprising news.
Attorney General Pam Bondi has chosen a prosecutor to investigate people and companies associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
What, you thought I was gonna spit water all over my own studio? But still, holy shit! Pam Bondi, Donald Trump's own attorney general, has decided to investigate people associated with Epstein? I haven't seen a dramatic turn like this since the goofy sitcom dad started cooking meth. Unless, that is, I'm missing something?
That in direct response to this announcement from President Trump, which came less than 4 hours before. The president wrote this, quote, "I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions."
Oh, so everyone that might have been involved with Epstein, except the guy who was totally involved with Epstein. Wow, what an unsurprising turn of events. Yes, it seems that with the Republican-led House set to vote next week on a bill calling for the DOJ to release the Epstein files, Donald Trump is suddenly projecting his own horrible behavior onto others. And for Trump, this tactic is about as original as Kristi Noem's face. Anytime Donald Trump attacks people for their actions, you can guarantee he either has done or will do them in the future. Remember a certain someone's emails?
Where are those emails, Hillary? They may find those 33,000 emails. They're looking. They may find those deleted emails. They may find them. Remember the emails 33,000 emails covering her gym and her daughter's wedding. 33,000, that's a lot of emails for a wedding and working out.
To be fair, to a man with a body like this, one email about working out would seem excessive. Trump is so out of shape, his spam folder is filled with actual spam. Trump is so fat, the body of his emails are obese. This dude is so horrific to look at, that button in his Gmail says decompose. By the way, if you like those jokes, then you'll love my new comedy special, Attachment Issues. Over 90 minutes of material, all about my favorite subject line email. It gets a little repetitive after the 4th minute. But the point is, Hillary mishandled government documents, and anyone who does that should be held accountable, unless...
Tonight, the Washington Post reporting that 15 boxes of White House documents former President Trump improperly brought with him to Florida contained classified documents, including some at a top secret level.
I guess if Hillary had made it part of her bathroom decor, he would have been fine with it. Or how about back in 2016, before the election, when Trump claimed it was already being rigged?
The election is being rigged by corrupt media, pushing completely false allegations and outright lies in an effort to elect her president.
In a tweet, Trump doubled down, writing the election is being rigged by the media, but also at many polling places. Sad.
He did seem sad, right? Just super depressed about all that election rigging that wasn't happening. But you know what they say, when it comes to the stages of grief, after depression comes acceptance. Or in Trump's case, not acceptance.
Tonight, President Trump relentless, continuing to peddle false claims about the 2020 election. He lost by more than 7 million votes.
We have uncovered a voter fraud, the greatest voter fraud in history.
It was so great, they found all that evidence to support their claims. Or how about when Trump accused the Clintons of giving people access purely for their own financial gain?
She sold favors and access in exchange for cash.
Saudi Arabia giving $25 million, Qatar, all of these countries. You talk about women and women's rights. So these are people that push gays off buildings. These are people that kill women and treat women horribly, and yet you take their money. So I'd like to ask you right now, why don't you give back the money that you've taken from certain countries that treat certain groups of people so horribly?
Yeah, why don't you give them their money back so they'll have more of it to give to my family for a real estate deal, or a jet, or a crypto dinner.
More than 200 wealthy, largely unnamed investors are heading to Washington for dinner with the president tonight, raising new concerns over the wealthy buying access to Donald Trump. In total, they spent $394 million on Trump cryptocurrency tokens in exchange for an invitation to Trump National Golf Course in D.C. to see the president. As NBC News has learned, that's nearly $2 million each.
$2 million each, or to put that another way, almost 5,000 times the amount of money Matt Gaetz paid a 17-year-old homeless girl to have sex with him so she could afford braces. Almost the Attorney General. Or how about Donald Trump's claims of a weaponized Justice Department?
After being indicted for the third time in 4 months, former President Donald Trump, leaving his latest arraignment, doubled down on his claims that the Justice Department is being weaponized against him.
If you can't beat him, you persecute him.
Nice try. Trump spent his entire life selling garbage to people and claiming it was authentic. He just assumes people will buy his rebrand of, if you can't beat him, join him, as, if you can't beat him, persecute him? What's next? Laughter is the best medicine because Tylenol is poison? If it ain't broke, spend $350 million tearing it down anyway? Or maybe, when the going gets tough, project all your guilt onto others. But it's not just today that Trump is targeting his rivals. This has been going on all year.
New concerns today about the impartiality of the Justice Department as Attorney General Pam Bondi faces mounting pressure to prosecute President Trump's political adversaries. And Trump is appearing to grow frustrated that charges have not been brought against several of his political enemies.
That's right. We all knew Trump was frustrated because his blood pressure was rising and his ankles were starting to balloon, because that's just a totally healthy man who's a little frustrated. Look, you don't have to be a therapist to see that the moment Trump feels he's losing an election, a lawsuit, or public opinion, he immediately shifts blame and projects all of his guilt onto everyone else. I mean, he calls this guy Sleepy Joe, but now he is falling asleep in meetings. He accused Democrats of colluding with foreign powers, all while in 2016, his campaign had numerous contacts with Russian officials, and he later asked Ukraine's president to investigate Biden, which led to his first impeachment. Trump said Hunter Biden was profiting off his father's success, but was it to the tune of $3.4 billion? The reality is, nothing in the world should make Americans more certain that Trump did the thing he is denying than when he pulls this projection move. And not only is it incredibly transparent, but it's also the perfect illustration of how much contempt he has for his own base. That they would be so gullible as to get thrown off the scent by moves like this. To Trump, his base voters are like dogs, and each accusatory projection tweet is him pretending to throw their ball in the air, but really he's just hiding it behind his back. But those voters are not dogs. Mostly because if they were, Kristi Noem would have shot them in the face by now. This projection tactic is the move of an incredibly insecure individual. Yes, Trump may have gotten elected president, but he is far from presidential material. He is a ruthless real estate tycoon who thinks he's qualified for the presidency because he knows how to get a sweet deal on tile. But I'm sorry to report, the entire US economy is a slightly bigger job than renovating a bathroom. Every single thing that Trump targets his opponents for is something he is more than guilty of himself. And as the saying goes, people who live in glass houses shouldn't continually lie like a motherfucker. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.